Okay, here we go. Thank you very much for your time, availability, and interest towards HT Solutions. My name is Goga Kvaratskhelia. I'm the Head of Security Solutions Department in HT Solutions. As you are aware, we have announced a series of Zoom meetings. It's third our consecutive webinar, and today we're gonna be talking about Tenable. You probably know the solution, but for those who are not familiar with the solution, it is a platform. This is a platform that provides a most comprehensive and integrated view for enterprise security posture and reduces business risks in terms of vulnerabilities. Yeah. The key benefits would be to identify the weaknesses by scanning network connected assets within your infrastructure, okay? Prioritize vulnerabilities with greater impact and understand how they will be exposed within next 28 days. Let's say assess how well the patch management is working based on vulnerability trends over time, and so on and so forth, okay? This is I would say, critical tool within your infrastructure and in general cybersecurity. We are partners with Tenable and Bakotech, who will be basically today presenting the solution. Philip Khmelov from Bakotech side, he's the sales engineer, would start the presentation, and I would suggest you to ask questions, raise hand, ask questions, and conduct this webinar in more, let's say, conversation manner rather than presentation, okay? Thank you very much once again for your availability and interest. We will have another hour or so on presentation, and then your questions and remarks are more than welcome. Okay, so I would give a floor to Philip, who is going to continue the presentation. So if you could share your screen, yeah, that's great. And I'm going to mute myself and give a floor to Philip. Thank you very much, colleagues, and I hope this will be interesting and useful for you. Thanks.
Hello again. Thank you for joining. And today we will talk about company Tenable. I'm Philip Khmelov, and I am pre-sale engineer in company Bakotech and responsible for Tenable and all platform that Tenable has. So first of all, let's discuss who is Tenable, because the funniest story is that Tenable, the company who creates Nessus. Almost all knows Nessus, but Tenable, it's let's say something new, and this is a very ridiculous story that we go to the customer, we told about Tenable, they don't know who is Tenable. But when we talk about Nessus, oh yeah, we know Nessus, because Nessus, this is the most popular vulnerability scanner in the world, and it used in every platform that Tenable has. So we really need to know what is Nessus. But Tenable, it's not a company, not only company who create Nessus. They also have the strong research team that every day find new vulnerabilities. They put their knowledge to the products, and we can use those products for our scanning. And Tenable, the innovation company, and they provide very flexible different deployment based on your infrastructure, because nowadays we have very difficult, very different devices in our infrastructure. If we go to the 2000s, the big part of our infrastructure was desktops, servers, network infrastructure, and laptops. But nowadays, we see a lot of mobile devices. We see that almost all infrastructure in the virtual environment, and more and more we see that customers go to the clouds because this is cheaper, this is easier, and you see trend for IoT devices. I think in few years IoT will be in every organization, and the main problem, if those old devices connected to the network, so they can be hacked from the network. So to protect those devices, we need to answer on three key questions. The first one, where are we exposed? It means where we have vulnerabilities. So we need to understand what device vulnerable. The second one is how we should prioritize these risks, because if we have a big enterprise infrastructure with thousands of devices, we will have 10 times more vulnerabilities, and we need to focus on the most critical. And the third question is we need to understand if our process, vulnerability management process, is it effective? The process consists of 5 main steps, and the steps should be repeated every time. The first one is discover. When we are talking about finding vulnerabilities, we need to find all assets that we have in our company. As we said before, every devices that can be connected to the network, to the internet, they can be hacked from those network. So we need to find all of those assets, and after that we need to understand what vulnerability they have, what misconfiguration they have, and other health indicators. After that, as we said, we need to prioritize all vulnerabilities. We need to understand what is critical so far, and we need to focus on them and fix them. This is the fourth our steps. We fix first we fix critical vulnerabilities, but step by step we closed all vulnerabilities. And we see the statistics. We need to understand how effective our vulnerability management, and repeat all those steps again and again, because you know that vulnerabilities is discovered every day, and even our solution, they receive updates with vulnerability databases every day. To scan all of devices that customer has, Tenable create different sensors, because just Nessus cannot scan all environment because of some limitation or maybe criticality of the assets. Maybe some assets we cannot scan with active scan. We need to do it passively or maybe with agent. So the main sensor that Tenable has is active scanning, agent scanning, and web application scanning, passive monitoring. Those all they included all in our platform Tenable that we will talking about later. If we talk about why we need to prioritize vulnerabilities, The main reason is those vulnerabilities they discovered every day, and for example, for 2018 were discovered more than 16,000 new vulnerabilities, and we have also our old vulnerabilities, and together it's very big database, and only 7% of these vulnerabilities can be exploited. So we really need to focus on this 7%. How to do this? Based on standard feature, it's impossible, really. So Tenable goes, let's say, in the future, and they create new component that name predictive prioritization. What it does, um, they combine machine learning with information that they receive from different sources, from darknet, from the forums, from the database of vulnerabilities, and all those information it correlated with internal machine learning mechanism, and on the finish we receive score, VPR score, it names vulnerability priority rating. This score it changes every day at night, because you know, if vulnerabilities discussed in the world, there maybe in darknet we see a big amount of posts about these vulnerabilities, or maybe now in the other companies this vulnerability is exploiting. So this score will be increase to the maximum, and it changes every day. Why we need prioritization? Why we need to find vulnerabilities? I have a good example. I know that you very well know this example, but still, I want to back to 2017 in May. A big attack to the all around the world. It named Wannacry, and even in Ukraine we see this cyber attack. The global damage was about $1 billion, and this attack that was in every country, big country we know. So how this attack was? They use Eternal Blue exploit. At this exploit based on vulnerability that they find in SMB protocol version 1. So in the next month on those year, we see new cyber attack. It named NotPeter. It also ransomware, and it also use Eternal Blue exploit of Windows Server message block protocol. So the same exploit, the same protocol, and it was after the first cyber attack of Wannacry. Let's go deeper and find when Microsoft published the patch for this vulnerability. It was on March of those years, so 2 months earlier, before this cyber attack. And Tenable patched their plugin for this vulnerability in the next day after the Microsoft it does. So if the company that was hacked with Wannacry, with NotPeter, if they have a solution like Tenable, especially with predictive prioritization, they will stop this cyber attack with patching. If they have this solution, they will know that this vulnerability is most critical than the others. So let's go to the Tenable and understand what the platform it has. Tenable has two main product line. The first one is Tenable SC, and this is on-premise version. And the second one is Tenable IO. This is the cloud version of vulnerability management system. Before we talk about all of those two platforms, let's go and understand what scanning method use Tenable. The first one is Nessus Scanner and active scanning. It names also blacklist scanning. So let's imagine a house, and we discover what around this house. Maybe some windows are opened, or maybe a door isn't locked. So the same Nessus does. So it scans all open ports. It finds vulnerabilities. It tries default passwords to log into these devices. The second one is a credential scan or agent scan. So we can use our Nessus scanning and provide them credentials to log into the system, or we can install the agent and find out what is internally in this system. Let's say we receive the key of that house, and we inside we see the plan. We see where is the sofa, there is the chair, and maybe the chair is old and we need to change it to the new. The same with credential scan. We see internal information, what the process running, what the application are installed in, and maybe some of them need to be updated to the last version. And we even see the register key and maybe some wrong configuration. So all of those they can achieve with Nessus Scanner with credentials or with agent. And the third one is passive scanning. Sometimes we cannot use active scanning. We cannot provide any influence to the system. So in this case, we can use passive scanning. We can provide the copy of the traffic using span port, for example, on the switch. And we can analyze those traffic. We can find new connection. We can find what operating system, what devices in those networks. We can understand what the application those devices are used. So all of those information we gather passively without any influence to the system. And this is, let's say, our most of interesting part of our system, because active scanning and agent scanning, it's pretty old techniques, and different vendors also have these components, but the passive scanning is some unique and very interesting. So let's go to the platforms, and the first one, Tenable IO. This is the cloud solution that managed by the Tenable in the cloud. So no need to provide some resources for deploying the management of Tenable IO. The only we can install internally our sensors. So Tenable IO consists of 4 modules. The first one is vulnerability management, and this is our traditional vulnerability management. This module has Nessus Scanner, has Nessus Agent, and Nessus Network Monitor. So all of 3 components, they are included in the vulnerability management. And the main benefit of this component that of this module, that all 3 components, they are unlimited in the even the smallest license. So if you buy, for example, 500 IPs, so you can use unlimited Nessus Scanner, you can use unlimited Nessus Agent, and you can use unlimited Nessus Network Monitor. If you need to install it in different segments, no problem, just do this. The second one is web application scanning, and from the name you can understand that this component, this module scans the web application. You can use the cloud sensors or for scanning public sites and web application, or you can install the sensor internally and you can scan this web application if they don't have um, public interfaces or its internal sites. You can use internal sensor to analyze those sites. The third module is container security, and this is solution for a Docker container. You can scan if you have container in your organization. Maybe you have development team that develop these containers. You can use container security for analyzing them, and you can provide these containers to the cloud and analyze them in the cloud. Or you can install also in a local scanner for containers and use it like internal Nessus Scanner or a web application scanner, but only for container security. The fourth module is PCI ASV, and this is a module for maybe for financial sector, because this is the certification for PCI DSS. You can scan, you can receive the official report about you comply or not comply the PCI DSS certification. So all four modules, they are included in Tenable IO. You can use them all or buy only what you need. Also, Tenable IO has integration with different systems. We can receive data from the other systems, or we can take our data from our system. So also we have REST API to use it, and if you need some special integration, you can use REST API. It's without any additional costs. Just use it. We have good documentation for it with examples, so it's not a problem to use REST API. Let's talk more about architecture. So as we said, Tenable IO is a cloud platform, but if we need to talk, if we need to scan internal network, we can install our local sensors, Nessus Scanner, Nessus Network Monitor, and locally we can install Nessus Agent on the endpoint. Nessus Network Monitor and Nessus Scanner can be installed as a virtual appliance, or we can install it on the, for example, our endpoints, for example, on the Windows machine, on the Linux machine. We have a lot of different OSs that we supported, but the best option is the virtual appliance, because it's already prepared from Tenable, and you just deploy, give the IP address for the scanning, and that's all. You connect the this scanner to the Tenable IO via a special key, and you can scan this segment. And the main benefit of Tenable IO, it doesn't matter where is your segment. It can be even in different country. So the first one in the New York, the second one in the Georgia, in the Tbilisi, the third one in the Kiev in Ukraine. So you can connect to one Tenable IO management and cover all those segments. The second solution is Tenable SC. Tenable SC, as we said, it's local, it's on-premise solution. And the main difference, not only in on-premise, but in customization that Tenable SC provide to the customer, because Tenable IO, it's quite simple product for a customer who doesn't want configure something. He just wanted to scan their infrastructure and receive the information. That's all. Maybe the security team is not a big and 1 or 2 person only. So Tenable IO may be the good solution, but Tenable SC provide more additional, more let's say customizable components, and I'm show you how it works. Tenable SC has 2 versions. The first one is just Tenable SC. It consists of Tenable SC management console. This management provides us, first of all, dashboards, reports that we can customize as you wish. Tenable SC has its own workflow with tickets, with alerting, with asset management, so you can group your assets with some filters, maybe group by operating system, group by vulnerabilities, and group by data when what we receive from the scanning. So very customizable solution. We can group our customer users who is using this solution. And the first version, Tenable SC, it consists of Nessus Scanner and Nessus Agent. The same situation as in Tenable IO, even in the smallest license, we can install unlimited number of Nessus Scanner and Nessus Agent. Also, we have free REST API, so you can find documentation in it free, and you can search and find on the Google, just write Tenable SC API. Also, we have predefined integration that we are talking later. The second version is Tenable SC Continuous View, and it's a more complex solution with 2 additional components. You see the Nessus Scanner and Nessus Agent as in previous version, but in Continuous View we also have Nessus Network Monitor that we already talked about when we're talking about Tenable IO. And the fourth component is Log Correlation Engine. This component analyze logs from Tenable system and from the third-party system, and it has already predefined correlation rules to find vulnerabilities in the logs. So it's predefined solution that help you understand in different way what vulnerabilities you have. And this component, as a Nessus Network Monitor, it works in real time. The architecture quite similar to the Tenable IO, but the only difference is security center. The Tenable SC console, it is local, so you can install it internally on your security operations center or in some segment that you decide. And all components can be installed as a virtual appliance in different segments. Best practice, install it behind the firewall, because if you scan through the firewall, a firewall can stop this scanning, and you can receive fake information about maybe closed ports on or something like this. Tenable has a lot of different integration. That the main it's maybe CM system, because we know that CM is like a center of security in the companies, so we can send our logs to this system. We have integration with mobile device management system to understand what vulnerability has our mobile devices. Access management for scanning, so you can provide credentials for scanning, or you can use integration with CyberArk, for example, and you don't need to provide admin credentials. CyberArk will do it automatically with Tenable.
Sorry, Philip, I guess we have a question from Vaco. You can either write the question down or put your microphone on and ask a question.
So where is the question?
For some reason, I cannot hear. He raised the hand, but I guess he will write a question, or I gave him I unmuted him, but okay, he will ask, I guess, via chat, and I will read it to you. Okay.
Okay, thanks. So we almost done the presentation, but still we need to clarify some things. I have some examples of integration here. So with ServiceNow is very popular task management system. So we can provide there our vulnerabilities and create tasks for different users. We can send logs to the Splunk, and there we can have dashboard with all information from our system. And as I told before, we have integration with access management system, especially with CyberArk. And if the customer doesn't want to provide admin credential because of the security purposes, so you can use CyberArk on other integration for receive credentials to the scanning. So Nessus in time when Nessus will scan it, will query the CyberArk for credentials, and it will scan the our devices internally. So what the customer will achieve with Tenable? First of all, they will have visibility. They will understand what asset they have, what the vulnerability they have, and if they comply with some best practice in the world or not. The second one is the prioritization of their vulnerabilities to understand what they need to fix firstly. Tenable also is a very old company, I think almost 20 years. They have very good research team. They update our solution every day. They find vulnerabilities, and even more, you can go to the Tenable site, and there is a tab for researching, and you can see that what new vulnerabilities was discovered by Tenable, and even zero-day vulnerabilities. The last one is the flexible deployment, because if you want cloud, you can use Tenable IO. If you want local solution, you can use Tenable SC. You can use different sensor based on your, let's say, infrastructure. Okay, guys, so I think that's all in my presentation. So please ask your question. I'll happy to answer it.
Okay, thank you, Philip. I guess some of the colleagues will have questions. Yeah, so colleagues, please, if you have any questions to Philip regarding the solution, architecture, functionality, I don't know, anything, integration, please go ahead. Thank you. No questions? Everything is clear?
Maybe let's wait a minute to maybe a big question, and while they write it, it's quite.
Okay, let's wait. Okay, so if there are no more questions, I would encourage you to see the product, play with it, maybe plan a POC, see how it works in practice. We have expertise locally in this here in Georgia. Also, our colleagues from Bacotech are very much supportive on this. So I would encourage you to see the product, call us. We will give you test licenses. We'll start planning POCs with you. So we are open in any kind of cooperation with you guys. So if there are no more questions, you know how to find us. Our contact details are available everywhere. Give us a call. We can talk in more details about it. And then based on your requirements, based on your needs, we will show you the solution in more details, yeah? Okay, so we have a chat. Okay, thanks a lot for the presentation. David, thank you very much for attending this seminar, webinar. Okay, guys, if that's all right with you and there are no more questions, I would thank Philip and colleagues from Bacotech for this early morning presentation. As you know, they're 1 hour behind. And looking forward to your comments and suggestions, and keep in touch, yeah? Philip, thank you very much. Have a good day, guys, and see you soon. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.